In the beginning, everything looked perfect, but hidden inside the first pages of the Bible is a story that explains why our world feels so broken today. The book of Genesis opens the entire Bible, and its storyline unfolds in two powerful movements. Chapters 1, menos 11, tell the story of God and the whole world. Then chapters 12 to 50 zoom in on God's relationship with one man, Abraham, and his family. These two sections are connected by a pivotal moment at the start of chapter 12. That moment acts like a hinge, revealing how the message of Genesis unlocks the story of the entire Bible. Genesis begins with God stepping into chaos. The second sentence of the Bible describes a world filled with darkness and disorder, but God transforms it out of chaos. He brings order, beauty, and goodness, creating a world where life can flourish. Then God creates a unique creature called humans, or Adam in Hebrew. They are made in God's image, which speaks to their role and purpose in creation. Humans were designed to reflect God's character into the world. They are appointed as God's representatives to rule over creation on His behalf. This doesn't mean domination. It means cultivating the world, caring for it, and unlocking its potential so life can flourish even more. God blesses the humans. Blessing becomes a key word throughout Genesis. He places them in a garden, a starting point for building this beautiful world together with Him. But there is one crucial choice. Standing in their path, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Until now, God alone has defined what is good and what is not good. But now humanity receives something extraordinary: the dignity of choice. Will they trust God's wisdom about good and evil, or will they seize independence and decide for themselves? The stakes could not be higher. Turning away from God, the source of life, means stepping toward death. This is symbolized by another tree in the garden, the tree of life. Then, in chapter 3, a mysterious character enters the story, a serpent. We're told almost nothing about it except that it's a creature God made. But it quickly becomes clear that this creature is in rebellion against God and seeks to pull humanity into that rebellion. The serpent twists the story about the tree. It claims that taking the knowledge of good and evil won't bring death at all. Instead, it promises power, the chance to become like God. The irony is heartbreaking. Humans are already like God, made in His image. Yet instead of trusting Him, they grasp autonomy for themselves. In one moment, everything collapses. The first casualty is human relationships. The man and woman suddenly feel exposed and vulnerable. Trust disappears. They sew clothes and hide their bodies from each other. The second casualty is their intimacy with God. They run and hide from Him. And when God confronts them, blame replaces responsibility. The story pauses here for a series of poetic declarations where God reveals the consequences of this rebellion. God first addresses the serpent. Despite its apparent victory, defeat is coming. The serpent will crawl in the dust. Then comes a mysterious promise. One day, a descendant of the woman will strike the serpent's head. But this victory comes with a cost. The serpent will strike the descendant's heel. It's the promise of a wounded victor. Even after humanity rebels, God responds not with abandonment but with grace and a promise of rescue. Still, the consequences remain. Life will now be marked by struggle at home, in relationships, and in the field. Pain and hardship become part of human existence, all leading eventually to death. From here, the story spirals downward. Two brothers appear, Cain and Abel. Consumed by jealousy, Cain murders his own brother. Despite God warning him not to give in to sin, Cain then builds a city where violence spreads and oppression grows. This corruption reaches a peak with Lamech, a man who takes multiple wives and proudly boasts about being even more violent than Cain. Whether these were rebellious spiritual beings or powerful ancient kings claiming divine origin, the message is the same. Humanity builds kingdoms filled with violence, pride, and corruption. God sees his good world being destroyed, and the pain breaks his heart. So God cleanses the world with a great flood, yet he preserves one righteous man, Noah, and his family. Noah becomes a kind of new Adam. God blesses him and sends him out to start again, filling the earth with life. For a moment, hope rises, but Noah fails to. Just like Adon, his failure happens in a garden setting. He plants a vineyard, drinks too much wine, and ends up naked and ashamed in his tent. Once again, humanity falls. The spiral continues. Eventually, humanity gathers to build a powerful city, Babylon, using a new technology brick. They construct massive cities and towers faster than ever before. They dream of building a tower, reaching the heavens so they can make a great name for themselves. It's the same rebellion from the garden, but now on a global scale. God humbles their pride and scatters them across the earth. All these stories point to one truth. God keeps giving humanity opportunities to steward his world well, yet humanity keeps corrupting it. We live in a good world that we have turned broken by choosing our own definition of good and evil. This leads to fractured relationships, conflict, violence, and ultimately death. But the story doesn't end in despair. God promised that one day a descendant would give the wounded victor who would crush evil at its source. Despite humanity's rebellion, God remains determined to bless and rescue his world. So the big question becomes, how will God do it? The next story, The Turning Point of Genesis, reveals the answer. But before we continue, subscribe to the Word of Godeslove YouTube channel, share this message, and join us as we uncover the powerful story God is telling through the Bible.